The first day of nursing school. There are so many feelings of overwhelm, anxiety, maybe even excitement. We have a role as nurse educators to ensure that we're doing everything we can to help our students feel welcome and to create an inclusive learning environment. If I asked you all to raise your hand, for those of you that remember your first day in nursing school, I would be the first one to raise mine, and I'm sure many of you are raising yours right now. As we move forward in our next several snapshots, we're going to be talking about what are some of those strategies that we as nurse educators want to make sure we bring into the classroom to create this inclusive learning environment where every one of our students feels welcome. Welcome back, everybody, to Dr. Sellars Educate, where our mission is simple. It is to support every single nurse educator on the journey towards excellence. That means that every single day we're focused and aware of what our teaching strategies are, how they align with the evidence, and ultimately to achieve certification, because we know that is the mark of professionalism. Now, for those that are not on the journey to C&E, we want you to go ahead and subscribe to our channel as well. This is going to ensure that you stay current with any evidence-based practices or updates related to the NLN Nurse Educator competencies. For those of you that are on the journey, we're excited to have you back as well. In these several snapshots, we're going to be focusing on learning theory as well as those active learning strategies to help us stay engaged with our audience, which is going to be our students, as well as our nurse educator colleagues. When we think about Boyer Scholarship Model, a really important phase in that model is related to our scholarly work, right? We know that highest form of scholarship is teaching. What is our role, and how are we engaging with our peer educators in a way that's going to allow them to advance their knowledge and to increase their confidence? In this snapshot, we're going to explore alignment between our 4 learning strategies that are cited in our content that we'll be exploring. So make sure, if you haven't already, you pull out 2 resources, okay? First is going to be Billings and Halstead. The second resource is going to be Dr. Caputi's C&E review book, and then your study worksheet. Every single time you show up for an episode right here on our channel, we want to make sure that you bring your study worksheet. That's going to allow you to stay engaged with the content as we move through our review for this session. So let's take a look at Kolb's experiential learning theory. The first theory that we're going to, or element of the theory we're going to look at, is related to divergers. Okay, so that's our focus for this snapshot. And here's our thought-provoking question. So the nurse educator is developing their lesson plan to align teaching strategies with student learning preferences. In the context of experiential learning, how can the nurse educator best support students with an imaginative learning style that prefers to watch and observe? We have 3 options. This is in alignment with the NLN update effective in January. They will be moving to 3 options on the C&E exam. The C&E clinical is already 3 options. This was an update that was given by NLN during the last summit, okay, and that was in 2023. So A, encourage them to participate in case studies and critical thinking exercises. B, provide opportunities for brainstorming and creative problem solving. Or C, emphasize structured, rule-based learning activities. So you can go ahead and write down what you think the best choice is going to be given the options that we have. And then I also want you to write down today's date, whatever date it is that you're watching this episode, because this is going to help you stay focused and reflect on the content that you are reviewing today. Our mission is to help you move forward on your journey towards achieving C&E, or either just advance your skills related to our ability to align our teaching strategies with the evidence. All right, so we're looking at divergers. You want to reference page 65, table 2.3 in Dr. Caputi's C&E review book, and Billings and Halstead, page 252, table 14.1. When we talk about divergers, what are those characteristics that are associated with these types of learners? Well, we have in this upper left picture, you can see there's a group that is observing a clinical faculty member. We can imagine that there's a conversation going on about the care that that patient will receive that day. Perhaps they're discussing a procedure or lab work even, or an x-ray, and talking about what the next steps are going to be related to that patient's care. You can also see that there is a bit of imagination and probably a lot of thoughts, right? Based on the image that we're seeing that this person is having as they sit and they ponder over their thoughts and maybe even the reading that they are doing. But that's that imaginative mind that our divergers have. And then brainstorming. They love to engage with others in a way that they're able to share their thoughts, to truly think outside the box, and to be open to what others have to say about a certain content area, or even if they have a muddy point, they're often engaged in that creative thought process and connecting theory with practice. So, what are your teaching strategies when we think about the Diverger type of learner as it relates to Kolb experiential learning theory? What is just one strategy that you would align based on what you know right now? And remember that you're going to go back to the resources that we've shared. Billings and Halstead is still the 6th edition that we are using, even though we know the 7th edition is out and we have that copy as well. But the CNE exam is mapped to the 6th edition. And if you're not on the journey and you have the 7th edition, that's great, because there's a lot of great, rich information in that textbook that's going to supplement you to even have a deeper understanding of evidence-based teaching strategies, and also use the online option. Okay, so we know that the Evolve site that Elsevier has is another great way for us to engage in evidence-based practices and additional resources to support our journey moving forward towards excellence. So write that down. Not only what is your teaching strategy, but how does it align? Using table 14.1 and Billings and Halstead is an excellent resource to help you if you're struggling a little bit with content. So groupthink, that's a great strategy for the Diverger type of learner to engage with others in a way that's going to allow sharing of thought. This also is going to allow, when we think about group activities, we want the faculty member involved as well, right? Because we too, in our role, we stimulate thought. We can use an approach with Socratic questioning, where we are asking open-ended questions and engaging with the group as well as listening to them, right? We want to actively listen and be a full participant in our conversations with our students as well. All right, so the thought-provoking question, if you chose B, you are correct. Now, what you want to think about with the thought-provoking question is the rationale, okay? So what is it that we know is true about this specific question, and why did you choose option B? If you did, celebrate, but if you did not, think about why you chose a different option, okay? And for those that did, think about why you chose it, and hopefully it's aligned with this explanation. So it was B, providing opportunities for brainstorming and creative problem solving. Nurse educators can facilitate experiential learning for diverging learners by encouraging activities that involve generating new ideas, teamwork, and exploring different perspectives. All right, so these are our, again, out-of-the-box thinkers, and they are motivated and excited to learn from others. That's why they really like the group work. All right, if you have questions about this content, or if you want to reach out to us regarding our programs and how we can better support you on your journey, you can reach out to us on our website, drssellarseducate.com. And also, we have our email here on the screen, info@drssellarseducate. We hope this episode has been helpful. And until next time, have a great one, everybody. Bye-bye.